The results are in. Coming up on GMSA, I'm going to tell you how many people have already made their voice heard when it comes to voting and which sites are going to have the shortest lines.
We're still on board with the plan of getting into that apartment and taking her into custody.
Court is back in session this afternoon in the trial of 3 former SAPD officers. We got the big question still there. Were their actions justified in the deadly shooting that happened in 2023 of Melissa Perez?
Here's what we're working on for GMSA. We're taking a look at the Kendall County Women's Shelter, the services they provide, and why so many victims from Bexar County are ending up in that shelter.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. on your Tuesday, October 21st. Not feeling like October, Justin, but you have some pretty good news for us.
Got hope coming.
Finally, some light at the end of the tunnel. There is rain in the forecast, and I think there's some cooler air in the forecast. So it's
wonderful.
2 bits of good news here in the extended forecast. So let's first start with the headlines, though, for today. And humidity is sky high. If you've been outside, you feel it. It's so muggy out there, and you're probably walking out the door saying, man, this is not October at all. So the bit of good news for today is that lower humidity arrives by noontime. We do have a front coming through, and it's not one that you're going to really notice all that much, other than it's going to lower that humidity quite a bit by the afternoon. Yes, rain is in the forecast, and storm chances return mainly late in the day on Friday. We'll walk you through that forecast, and we could see up to an inch of rain in spots, which is exactly what we need at this point, with things being as dry as they are. Okay, let's take a look at the dew point map, and dew points are in the low 70s right now. This is about as high of a dew point as you can get in October, quite honestly. But there is the front starting to make its way through the hill country. Again, I think we'll see a wind shift this morning, but it'll take some time for the dry air to really work in. It'll take until later today, but by the afternoon hours, you'll feel the difference. Mostly cloudy and humid this morning, 77 at 10 a.m., 83 noontime, 88 at 2 o'clock, and at that point we will have lower humidity. We'll reach a high right around 89, so it is still fairly warm. All right, let's talk traffic now, and we'll take a look out at TransGuide. This is I-35 in Eisenhower. I point out this TransGuide shot because we do have some slow traffic here, and this is really kind of the one traffic trouble spot that we have at this hour, and it's mainly just due to construction. As you look at the big map here, we do have some slowdowns along I-35. That just popped up. We'll see what that is. That looks like it's along 410 there and I-10. But other than that, everything is green, which is what we want to see. Moving at posted speeds in most spots. That area I just showed you right here, there is a slowdown for a good stretch here of I-35, almost all the way up to Topper White. So if you're heading out of town on I-35, that could affect your speeds just a little bit. Alex has been out and about for us. We did have one crash earlier that has since been cleaned up. What are you seeing now, Alex?
Justin, good morning and happy Tuesday. Yeah, the west side crash has cleared up. All those lanes are back open on 410 South right next to Highway 90. And then I took Highway 90 all the way over here to the east side and I had no issues. So I'm going to head more northeast and I'm going to go see how that construction slowing is doing, Justin.
Thank you, sir.
Underway and over at the Lions Field Adult and Senior Center, there were a lot of people making their voices heard on the first day that it was available. People are going to be voting on different things on their ballots, from Texas constitutional amendments to school bond issues and, of course, Propositions A and B, which have to do whether or not the Spurs get a new downtown stadium and making renovations to the old Freeman Coliseum and Frost Bank Center. Now, when it comes to how many people have actually voted so far on that first day, take a look at this number here. It is 10,158. Compare that with 3,286 votes that came in on the first day of early voting in the last November election back in 2023, which was also an off-year election. This morning, we're taking a look at what we've seen so far and some of the fastest places you can vote, because when I voted yesterday, it only took me about 5 minutes here, even at a site as crowded as Lions Field. This was one of the 3 most popular sites over here at Lions Field, with a total of 596 votes coming out of this polling site yesterday. After that, we have the Brook Holler Branch Library at 585 and the Cody Branch Library at 465. On the opposite side of things, the least popular voting sites, if you want to get in and out the fastest but with absolutely no line, you're going to be in luck for these 3 spots. The Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center had 18 votes come in yesterday. Somerset City Hall had 22 votes yesterday come in. And the Southside ISD Administration Building tied with the Macedonia Baptist Church for 23 total votes that were coming in. Now, when it comes to the turnout for voters on these off-year elections, where there's not a midterm and there's not a general election, we rarely see turnout climb into the double digits. But we'll have to see if an issue like the Spurs is enough to bring voters out. Some of the voters we spoke with yesterday seemed very energized and passionate about making their voice heard about this issue.
We got 3 stadiums already. I mean, I don't understand why they must have another one.
I probably will go ahead and vote for it because it's for the city. I mean, if they lose the Spurs, they're going to lose a lot.
The hours to vote are going to start today at 8 a.m., go all the way until 6. Then later on, when it comes to some of the polling, you're going to have times for the rest of this week, this upcoming Saturday and Sunday, and all of next week up until Halloween. The polls are going to be open 7 to 7. If you need any information like what's the closest polling site to you and want to know more about what's going to be on your ballot, you can head on over to KSAT.com or check out the QR code on your screen for more information. This is something we'll stay updated with and keep you guys in the loop about. For now, Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Well, testimony will resume this afternoon in the trial against 3 former SAPD officers. The defense continues to challenge the state's main argument in the case. This is in connection to the death of Melissa Bettis in 2023, a woman who was shot and killed by police while she was having a mental health episode. The prosecution has argued that officers had no right to try to enter Bettis's apartment the night of June 23rd back in 2023. However, Friday and yesterday, 2 different officers told jurors they believe the actions by former officers Alfred Flores, Elizar Alejandro, and Nathaniel Villalobos were justified.
We're still on board with the plan of getting into that apartment and taking her into custody.
Based upon the assault on Officer Salinas, gave us grounds to go in. So, like I said, we had a legal right to go in.
The defense, for the most part, has said they believe, quote, the state's theory is falling off a cliff, end quote. If convicted, all 3 former officers could face up to life in prison. Testimony will resume around 1:30 this afternoon. And of course, you can watch this live on all of our digital platforms and on KSAT.com.
This morning, a man convicted in the death of his 12-year-old son headed to prison for the next 45 years. Derek Coles found guilty of injury to a child, which is a first-degree felony. His son, Danilo Coles, died in February 2022 after investigators say he was beaten and burned. Authorities say that both Derek Coles and his now ex-wife, Danilo's stepmom, were responsible. After the sentencing, Derek Coles' mother spoke out about her thoughts on the case.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. And this did happen on his watch. It did. But at the same time, let justice be served on all sides, not just one.
A prosecutor stated the boy's stepmother, Capri Cheatham, also abused him. She is also facing some charges, but is being tried separately, expected back in court on the 31st. Nearly 4 years later, and the search for Lena Kill continues, as she was the little girl who vanished at 3 years old on December 20th of 2021. Her family giving an update about the ongoing efforts to find their daughter, and they say that they have not given up and are asking for help. Lena's father, through a translator, also voiced his frustration with the investigation.
I have nothing to ask for, but the only request I have from ACPD, FBI, and other agencies to recover my Lena.
If you know anything at all that can help with this investigation, no matter how long it's been, you are asked to call San Antonio Police.
Well, here's a look at your morning headlines. 3 weeks into the government shutdown, there's still no sign of a deal. The deadlock has now reached a historic point, tying for the second longest shutdown in U.S. history. Lawmakers remain split over a short-term funding plan and whether it should address rising health care costs. Meanwhile, air traffic controllers and other federal workers continue to feel the impact as some paychecks remain on hold. New questions this morning about major security lapses at the Louvre after that daring jewelry heist over the weekend. Investigators say the thieves, dressed as construction workers, used power tools to cut into the Apollo Gallery, just steps from the Mona Lisa, and escaped on scooters within minutes. French officials are searching for evidence the thieves left behind. Stolen jewels are worth millions.
Right outside with Live Cam, it is 6:09, 74 degrees here in San Antonio, very humid, and this is what we're awaiting, some showers and maybe even some storms as we get into Friday night. We'll detail this forecast for you again coming up.
Months after the deadly Hill Country flooding, there's still so much cleaning up to do and closure to be had. After the break, we're going to take you to Ingram, where those recovery efforts are still underway. Plus,
but you know what? He's going to jail and he's going to have the label of a sexual predator for the rest of his life.
After nearly 12 years, the survivor finally faces the man who assaulted her. Up next, watch as she opens up about confronting her attacker at his sentencing.
3.5 months after the deadly Hill Country flood, work continues to try to bring closure to the families.
As our Pashada Pope reports, 2 victims are still missing, and the search to find them is now focused on Lake Ingram.
There is a lot of heavy equipment that has been brought out here to Lake Ingram. This is where the search will be taking place for the last 2 victims of the July floods.
It's a coordinated effort by multi-state agencies to bring 8-year-old Seal Stewart and 63-year-old Jeff Ramsey home.
But I never envisioned or never dreamed I'd see a barge.
An official with the Texas Division of Emergency Management, which is overseeing this mission, says this is a search operation. Stewart was a camper at Camp Mystic when the floodwaters of the Guadalupe took her on July 4th. Since that time, there have been numerous searches of the Guadalupe River. Back in August, Nimitz Lake was searched. Roger Carter says whatever measures need to be taken to find the 2 missing victims should be taken.
Whatever we got to do to find her or leave no stone unturned.
The actual searching has not started of Lake Ingram just yet. That is expected to happen sometime this week. But happening now, City Council is discussing the possibility of prohibiting any RVs in the flood zone. In Ingram, Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
All right, switching gears now at 6:14. You could not have asked for a better Spurs preseason performance. Where the offense moved well, team put up a big points as a result, and the Spurs finished 5-0 in that preseason play. Tomorrow, Spurs will begin the regular season on the road. Spurs held practice yesterday afternoon. One of the topics that took up much of Wemby's time during that interview, questions about his height.
No, I don't say I like it. It's more like over the years, it's become a non-subject to me. You know what I mean? Because in my opinion, there's so many more interesting things about me. Yeah, sometimes I'm surprised that it's still a conversation because, yeah, the truth is, in my mind, it doesn't really make a difference. That's true. I'm taller than anybody else. That's all you need to know.
I think the root of the curiosity is like people want to see something they've never seen before. So I think fans are like, if he's the tallest player ever and he does all these things, we've never seen it, so it's something new.
Okay.
But for you, it's just you're just playing your game and being yourself, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. I literally never think about my height. And it's like when people ask you, how is it to be tall? I mean, I don't know. I've just been like this forever, so.
Yeah, definitely love his height, but gotta love that heart too. He is so personable. Well, here's a look at the schedule though. We got the Spurs at the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. Tip off is at 8:30 p.m. Friday they take on the Pelicans in New Orleans, and then they are home at the Frost Bank Center on Sunday to take on the Brooklyn Nets. So go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Justin, I really think that this is going to be a good year for the Spurs. They looked so good.
I feel very good about it, as I always do, but especially this year. And by the way, I'm not as tall as Wemby, but I can identify with, everyone asking about your height. I get it.
Drop it.
I'm more than my height.
Drop it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, people ask us all the time, why are we so short? Just how it is.
It is what it is. All right, I think we're going to check in with Alex here. He's been checking out the roads for us this morning. Alex, what are you seeing out there at this hour?
Yeah, well, I'm passing through one area of construction on the northeast side. This is going to be 35 northbound in between Ridman and Walsham, and you can see right here just one lane open, and it's alternating one lane open. First there was the right lane, now it's going to be the left lane open. So I would add about 10 to 15 minutes to your commute because that's how long it took me to get through this area, Justin.
Great information, Alex. We certainly appreciate it. So yeah, if you're going through that area, just know it's going to add sometimes, he said, 10 minutes or so to your commute. As we look at the map here, he's traveling right through here, okay? So that's where those slowdowns are, and that is construction related. We did get a report of a stall here on the east side. We've got another stalled car, it looks like on 90, right around the Zarzamora area. This one, it's in the shoulder, so we're not seeing any real big slowdowns. And so far, knock on wood, it's been a good morning out there on the roads, and that's exactly what we want after what was a pretty busy Monday with the issue at the Fine Silver Curve. So if you're leaving the house right now, you shouldn't have any real big issues. We are starting to see our typical slowdown here on the far west side coming in on 90. So there is a 25-minute commute from Castroville. That number will probably grow a little bit, but the rest of the commutes are all in the green, thankfully, on this Tuesday morning. All right, let's go into weather now. We'll take a look outside. We've got some clouds this morning, a lot of humidity here in San Antonio, 74 degrees at the airport, 69 in New Braunfels, 72 Converse, and we've got a south-southeasterly wind. The humidity here is important because you see these numbers are all in the 90, if not 90% tile, if not near 100%. So with that in mind, that could lead to a little bit of fog and spots, although we have not seen a whole lot of this. New Braunfels, I've been watching this number closely. It has just fallen close to zero. So New Braunfels is a spot where we could see some fog, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit here in San Antonio, albeit brief, but it's a possibility. And the reason why we're getting some fog this morning is, yes, it is extremely muggy, and that will be the case through, I'd say, midday. By about noontime, you'll see dew points and humidities really start to drop. And then by late afternoon and evening, it becomes very dry outside, so it'll feel different. Still warm, but you know, it's just a different feel to the atmosphere. So 8 a.m. 72, 80 at 11 a.m., 83 at midday, 86 at 1 o'clock, and then there's that lower humidity with a high temperature right around 90 this afternoon. Now to those rain chances. An area of low pressure will come on shore a little bit later today as it moves across the plains and into North Texas. This should give us some lift, and by 4 p.m. Friday, we'll have some storms just to our north and west. Those will try to move in Friday night, Friday evening. Overnight Friday is probably our best rain chance, and then this may linger into Saturday. This is midnight, and then as we get into 6 a.m. Saturday morning, still some storms, especially for our eastern counties, and then this would push east by Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. So this is our next best chance of rain, and the best chance of rain, by the way, that we've seen in a long time. We have it at 40% Friday evening, Friday night, and then a 30% chance on Saturday. Could even see a couple strong storms mixed in there, so please be aware of that. Again, that is that Friday night into Saturday time frame. Otherwise, 86 tomorrow, 89 Thursday. We'll see a little cooler weather on Saturday thanks to clouds and some of that rain, 84. And then back up to 90 on Monday before we should get a pretty good front next week. Maybe some fall-like temperatures finally. We'll keep you posted there. All right, just asked Justin this morning. No.
It's coming.
It's coming up.
We're going to get it eventually.
It's about baseball.
Y'all almost caught me trying to help him out. Okay,
Thank you,
6:20
Justin.
right now, 74 degrees outside.
Up next, nearly 12 years later, a survivor confronts the man who sexually assaulted her. She shares what it was like facing him in court.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Getting Justice.
It felt really good to be able to look him in the eyes and tell him what he did to me.
This morning, 30-year-old Shannon Keeler speaking out after a nearly 12-year odyssey, confronting the man who confessed to sexually assaulting her in a Facebook message at his sentencing Monday.
Both sides recommended 4 to 8 years.
Yeah.
And it was 2 to 4.
It definitely was shorter than we expected and less than I think he deserved. But you know what? He's going to jail and he's going to have the label of a sexual predator for the rest of his life, and that's accountability and that's justice. And for that, I'm happy and I'm grateful and I'm relieved and I'm lucky.
And coming up at 7 a.m., what she had to say when she finally faced her attacker in court. With your GMA First Look, I'm Juju Chang, ABC News, Gettysburg.
All right, now, Just Ask Justin. It's about baseball, and I was worried that no one was voting. Turns out we're just having some issues with the voting system, so you'll just kind of have to play at home, but maybe not actually vote. Which Major League Baseball team has the fewest World Series appearances? Is it the San Diego Padres, the Seattle Mariners, the Tampa Bay Rays, or the Colorado Rockies? We'll get you that answer here in about 30 minutes. Okay, and then we're going to go out to the roads now. We haven't had a whole lot of issues this morning, but Alex did report some slow going there on the northeast side along I-35 where there is some construction.
One thing the research has showed us here at KSAT is that a lot of you are very excited about your future, and Kamal ISD is adding to that excitement. For example, they're holding a college, career, and military fair tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the opportunity your student could have for a better future. Something else that a lot of people are excited about is this guy right here.
Hey, we got some rain chances. That's what we're excited about. Friday into Saturday, we'll detail them for you at 6:30.
This morning on GMSA, we know how many people showed up to the polls yesterday for the first day of early voting, and we're comparing that with another off-year election. Plus, we'll show you how you could be out in 5 minutes or less.
For the first time in a long time, we've got rain in the forecast Friday into Saturday. We'll show you exactly what you can expect as we head into the weekend.
Here's what we're working on for GMSA. We're taking a look at the Kendall County Women's Shelter, the services they provide, and why so many victims from Bexar County are ending up in that shelter.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Check your clocks, because it's 6:30 on the dot right here. 74 degrees outside. And again, good morning, San Antonio.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's October 21st, second day of early voting. Devin's going to be talking to us about that. But first, Justin, rain and possible cooler temps on the way?
Yes, in a long-term forecast here. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer before we get there, but yes, it is in a forecast, and I think that's all we've been waiting for so far this October. Let me take you outside, and right now it is very muggy. It's cloudy. It's warm. Temperatures are in the low to mid-70s at this point, which, again, is not very October-like. 69 in New Braunfels, 72 Converse, 70 right now in Bernie, 71 at Stinson. We do have light winds and a good amount of humidity, so there could be a little bit of patchy fog this morning, something we'll be watching for. And New Braunfels has been reporting visibilities down there. No surprise, because dew points are at 70, temperatures right around 70, so we get that dew point and temperature to meet, you oftentimes can get some fog. I don't think it'll last very long. We have a frontal boundary that'll be shifting through today. That'll switch winds around this morning, and then eventually we'll get some drier air in here. I think probably by midday you'll start to see that drop in humidity, and then by the afternoon it will feel a lot better, at least with regards to humidity. Temperatures will still be warm. 77 at 10 a.m., noontime 83, and there's your high temperature right around 89 this afternoon. All right, let's go over to traffic now and take a look at what's going on outside with TransGuide. I-35's been bit of an issue this morning, only because of construction, so some slow going here. This is 35 at Eisenhower, right around the Rittiman Eisenhower area. We're going to see some slowdowns. In some cases, Alex has been reporting that's down to one lane there, so you're going to have to tack on some time to your morning commute if you're going outbound there along I-35 northbound. We'll take a look at the maps, and we have a couple stalls. That one's gone away. I think this is a stall too. There's the slowdown on 35. Some normal slowdowns on the west side, but I did just notice that we're having a report of a rollover come in along 410 just south of Rigsby. Now, it's not showing any slowdowns yet. We'll see what comes of this. There were 4 units on the scene, so we'll continue to check in on that, and we'll also check in with Alex to see what he's seeing out on the roads. Alex, anything change for you?
No, just a lot of construction if you're headed outbound on the northeast side. So you have that one area, 35 north at Eisenhower. That took me about 10 minutes, but then the stretch from Thousand Oaks all the way up to about Judson Road, there's more construction that has the right lanes blocked, and that was already taking me about 15 minutes. But I just took the U-turn. I'm going to go check out that new rollover accident on the east side, and I'll let you know once I get there what details I can give you, Justin.
Alex, thank you so much.
Well, this morning we got a former Bexar County constable who was at the center of numerous KSAT investigations running for state representative. Michelle Barrientos Vela confirmed to KSAT that she is running as a Democrat in District 125. State Representative Ray Lopez holds the seat now, but he's retiring next year. Now, if you may remember, Barrientos Vela was convicted and then exonerated of tampering with evidence charges related to her time in office as constable. And she's also unsuccessfully run for Bexar County Sheriff in 2020, but the primary takes place in March.
Early voting is underway after a busy day at the polls yesterday. Voters are making their voice heard on a variety of issues, from Texas constitutional amendments to Propositions A and B, which could decide if the Spurs get a new downtown arena. But when it comes to voting, yesterday was busy at the polls. Our early voting numbers show so far that around 10,000 people came in and made their voices heard. That's a big number, especially when you compare it to the last off-year election in 2023 from November, where it was sitting at around 3,000 over there. More or less 3,286 votes to be precise when it comes to all the people coming in through that way. Now, these numbers for voter turnout has rarely risen above that double-digit number, but we'll just have to see how it turns out. If you're looking for a good place to vote today, some of the most popular ones yesterday we saw include the Lions Field Adult and Senior Center. That's right over here where I'm standing. That came in with about 596 votes yesterday. The Brook Hollow Branch Library was next with 585, and then after that, the Cody Branch Library had 465. But if you're looking to get in and out the fastest possible, well, these three sites had the lowest numbers yesterday. That's the Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center with 18 votes coming in. The Somerset City Hall had 22 votes, and the Southside ISD Admin Building was tied with the Macedonia Baptist Church for 23 votes coming in. Now, when it comes to voter turnout, the lowest voter turnout typically happens around some of these off-year elections. That's when there's not a general election for the president or midterm elections, but we'll have to wait and see if the Spurs issue is enough to bring that number over the line into double digits. Some of the people we spoke with yesterday, though, said they felt energized and seemed very excited about making their voices heard on these particular issues.
What are some of the benefits of voting early?
Well, there's no line, right? And for something like this, I would expect more of a line, but there actually isn't, so I'm good, right? So I was in and out in 4 minutes.
Funny enough, yesterday when I went to vote here at this polling site, I got out in 5 minutes, and that was with a line, folks. Hours to vote are going to start at 8 a.m. and end over at 6 p.m. later on this week. Here on your screen, you can see some important election dates. There's going to be some times all throughout this week and on Saturday and Sunday, all of next week as well, up until Halloween before the big election day on November 4th. You can scan the QR code on your screen and head over to KSAT.com for a look at some of the polling locations closest to you, plus explanations on exactly what's going to be on your ballot so you can make an informed choice before you hit the polls. I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Devin, thank you. And in case you missed it, we aired a special takeover last week focused on a new Spurs arena. Who pays, the arguments for and against the plan, and what's happened in other cities when pro teams want new homes. You can watch that special on demand at KSAT.com and KSAT Plus. Well, a woman suffers significant injuries to her lower back after a San Antonio police vehicle slammed into her SUV. 6 months later, Denise Martinez says that wreck has caused significant damage to her personal life. That includes a loss of employment and having to even move out of her home after falling behind on her bills. She's asking the city to settle her claim so she can get back to living normally.
Every attorney I've talked to has told me, good luck, the city takes their time, they don't care.
And tonight on the Night Beat, city officials give their side and contend this crash was not preventable. This morning, the Texas Cyber Command has officially launched at UTSA. It aims to protect the state from constant cyber attacks. It was created by Governor Greg Abbott earlier this year and is set to be the largest state-run cyber defense team in the country. Retired Navy Vice Admiral T.J. White will lead the command. He says they're focusing on building a strong, coordinated defense against digital threats with San Antonio's strong cyber talent and UTSA's leadership in cybersecurity education. Texas is ready to step up as a national leader in cyber defense.
Now to some of your morning headlines. We got a U.S. Appeals Court ruling that President Donald Trump can take command of 200 Oregon National Guard troops. Now, he's still barred from actually deploying those troops, at least for now. But a panel from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled Monday to put on hold an order that kept Trump from taking command of the troops. Another order prohibits Trump from sending any Guard troops to Oregon at all. Administration is now asking for that order to be dissolved. Sean Diddy Combs fighting back against his conviction and prison sentence. The music mogul's legal team has filed an appeal challenging both the conviction and his federal prostitution case and the 50-month sentence handed down earlier this month. Now, Combs says that the judge was wrong to weigh allegations tied to charges that he was acquitted of, including racketeering and sex trafficking claims. At sentencing, the judge said that he had to consider Combs' full conduct, noting that he continued troubling behavior even after federal raids on his properties. Combs has been in custody since his arrest in September of 2024. We got an update on the health of former President Joe Biden. A spokesperson for Biden says that the former president has completed a course of radiation therapy to treat an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Well, Biden marked the moment by ringing a bell, which is a tradition that many cancer patients often do to signify the completion of treatment. He revealed last May that he was battling prostate cancer and the disease had spread to his bones. Maker of Tylenol pushing back right now against a proposed change to its safety label. Ken Vu says that the FDA should not add language suggesting a link between Tylenol use during pregnancy and autism in children. The company calls the proposal arbitrary and contrary to law.
Live cam revealing very humid conditions this morning at 640, 74 degrees. Will we eventually get some of this humidity to turn into rain? Yes, down the line, and I think we could see some pretty good rainfall totals Friday night into Saturday. We'll show you that forecast coming up. Meantime, out on the roads, there are no big issues this morning other than some construction here along I-35. We'll fill you in on how long that commute may take you coming up.
Well, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. 1 in 3 Texans face it. We'll show you how a local shelter is fighting back even while facing funding cuts. How you can help. That's next.
Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Wednesday on the news at 6.
3 years since I first met you?
Yeah.
What has changed in 3 years?
A story about making the most out of a second chance.
I know for a fact people could change. You know what I'm saying? Looking at change, right, Joe?
I've seen it. I've seen people change their lives.
From decades in prison to a national honor, it's a KSAT follow-up, 3 years in the making.
What's it mean to you to be able to say all of that?
I want to help guys that were like me.
It's Wednesday on the news at 6.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The Kendall County Women's Shelter has been providing support to survivors since 2006. In 2012, they officially became a shelter, and their mission to help anyone from anywhere continues, even with declining donations. And everything that's from here is in here is donated, right?
Everything is donated, yes.
Holly Aldridge says the Kendall County Women's Shelter thrift store is a shining example of a community stepping up to protect victims of domestic violence.
Anything helps. We appreciate any kind of donation. We also need volunteers. Anything that you can do can help to get involved.
The shelter serves an average of 220 women each year. Survivors get a place to stay, education, child advocacy, counseling, and food. Recently, the shelter lost about $300,000 due to state and federal cuts. And on top of that, local corporate donations are becoming more limited.
And then the flooding that just happened recently in Kerr County has definitely affected us because some of our funding came from some of the foundations in Kerrville, and they decided to direct their funding to the flood victims, as they should.
Despite the loss in funding, the shelter's mission remains the same: to care for anyone who needs it, no matter where they're from. Take, for instance, Bexar County, which currently accounts for 52% of the shelter's clients. Bexar County has the highest domestic violence death rate in Texas.
We don't require documentation, which is oftentimes lost or taken from the abuser, and we don't require a police report. If you say that you have been abused, then we believe you.
Okay, and you can support their mission by shopping at their thrift store in Bernie and Comfort, and by supporting them financially. They have a Pillow Project Fund going on right now. Just head to KSAT.com and search Kendall County.
Okay, a quick check of the traffic situation. We're going to go to I-35 in Eisenhower, and a pretty big backup here. This is construction, and we just saw some construction vehicles go by, so they continue to kind of switch which lanes are open, but only 2 right now. And so this is causing a bit of a bottleneck if you're heading northbound on 35. Meantime, let's go to the maps here, and there is the backup you see on I-35. We were also going to report either a stalled vehicle or a crash here on 90. That's causing some slowdowns coming inbound. That's a stall. And then we did get a report of a rollover here on the southeast side near 410 and Sinclair. And I believe that's where Alex is. Let's check in with him and see what he's seeing there. Alex.
Yeah, good morning, Justin. It's really close to Sinclair on the southbound lanes of 410, and it's actually on the access road right here. So you can see this car. This is the car that was rolled over, and it's being towed right now from Cruz right here. So just know that the access road 410 southbound is going to have 1 lane open. But check this out to your left right here. The main lanes are going to be completely open for you, Justin.
Thank you, Alex. Great reporting there. And that is, again, rollover there, 410 Sinclair. We appreciate you, sir. Okay. Let's go to the bus stop forecast now. If you're heading out the oh, okay. Actually, we're going to toss it back to the anchors.
6:48 right now. Today's San Antonio Public Library getting spooky with a series of Halloween events, and this happening from 4 to 7 p.m. at the San Pedro Library for Monsters and Makeup with Miguel, professional makeup artist. He, who has over 20 years of experience in film, will give a live demonstration on monster makeup and prosthetics for the same evening from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Westfall Branch Library. There will be a screening of the classic horror film Alien.
And lastly, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Parman Branch Library, we'll host a Halloween festival. For more Halloween events, check out myslpl.org for more. Well, San Antonio neighbors, here's a chance to make a real impact in your community. The city is hosting a Good Neighbor workshop in your area, needing extra attention for safety and maintenance. Today is in Denver Heights area safety input session. It's happening at 6 p.m. at the Denver Heights Community Center located at 300 Porter Street. These events let you share your concerns, learn about local resources, and work directly with city officials to develop solutions.
Kamal ISD hosting its annual college, career, and military fair tomorrow. From 6 to 8 p.m. Donovan High School will welcome about 70 recruiters from colleges, businesses, trade schools, and military branches.
Right now, we're going to take a look at the bus stop forecast. And as we go outside with you and look at the situation, we've got some humid conditions this morning. Temperatures in the low 70s. It's humid and warm to start, but when you get out of school this afternoon, or if you're going to Carline, know that there will be some much lower humidity. Temperatures will be right around 90. So it's still hot today, but we're going to lose some of that humidity. We won't have the heat index like we did yesterday. And yesterday was a hot, hot day. All right, visibility has come down in several spots. We're noticing that now in New Braunfels, visibility down close to 0. So if you're traveling up I-35, or if you're in the New Braunfels area this morning, know that fog could be a problem. Also noticing a little bit developing along the coast. We have not had any issues with it here in San Antonio. And really, we'll get a wind shift this morning, so that should take away the fog, and then we'll really see humidity levels drop. So by 4 o'clock, we're in the pleasant category, and by this evening, it will be dry. And that will lead to some cooler mornings coming up next couple mornings before humidity returns by, say, Thursday and Friday. Here's the stat of the day for you. 43 days since we've had more than at least 1/100 of an inch of rain, any sort of significant rain. So it has been one heck of a dry stretch. We need rain in the worst way, and I think we're finally going to get some as we get into Friday and Saturday because of an area of low pressure. So by Thursday evening, we'll get some storms in West Texas, and then those will move closer to us. I think Friday night is going to be our best opportunity. This is 9 p.m., and then as we get into midnight, those storms potentially approaching Saturday morning, and then by Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, these will be pushing east. So that's kind of the time frame we're looking at. And when you're looking at rainfall potential, could be up to an inch of rain in some spots. Mainly San Antonio points north, further south to go the lower the numbers. But on this map, it does show that everybody at least may get something, and that's all we could hope for at this point. All right, let's take a look at the extended forecast, and we're going to talk about temperatures in the mid 80s tomorrow, so a little cooler, 89 Thursday, and then you see the rain chances Friday into Saturday. And the reason I have an 8-day forecast here instead of a 7-day forecast is because by Tuesday into Wednesday of next week, I think we could see an actual fall front that could knock down temperatures. So that's something to look forward to as well. All right, let's go to Just Ask Justin. And our question this morning has to do with baseball. Now, our poll is not working, so that's why there's no votes logged. So Jeff's going to have to go with her gut on this one. Which Major League Baseball team has the fewest World Series appearances?
Patty, where you at? Okay.
She said Mariners.
Did she? Okay.
She did. I don't
do
know
that
anything.
one. It's either between B and C.
It's good guess.
Okay, good. B.
Yeah, the
Thank you,
Mariners.
Patty Santos.
They almost won last night. They would have been going to the World Series had they won last night. They did not. They lost to Toronto. So they are the only MLB franchise that has never been to the World Series.
You're almost there.
Look at them doing things now.
Rough night last night. Yeah.
6:52 right now, 74 degrees outside.
Thousands of breakfast burritos pulled from shelves over safety concerns, why schools are involved, and what kind of contamination they're avoiding. That's next on GMSA Plus.
Back it is 6:55, almost 6:56. If you're heading out the door right now, we've got warm temperatures, mid-70s. It's humid, it's cloudy. We'll see that humidity go away, though. And do know there could be a little bit of patchy fog. I think by midday, you'll start to see those humidity levels drop. And then by this afternoon, the humidity will be much lower. Still hot, though. 89 for a high. And you look at the extended forecast here. We got some rain chances showing up Friday night. Going into Saturday, about a 40% chance Friday evening into Friday night. All right, coming up next on GMSA Plus, we've got the latest news, weather, and traffic. Join us on all of your streaming platforms.